episode number 1, second filming of the Duck Pond.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, we on? We rolling?
We rolling. We live.
Yeah, man, we live, man. Well, hey, man, this has been a work in progress, man. Shout out to those in the struggle. Shout out to you, big bro, man. I appreciate you holding it down with me. And this is dedicated to those that I've harmed. Welcome to the Duck Pond, baby. This is Micah Harris, aka D1. You know, this episode is about empathy. And first and foremost, I have to address the fact that I'm in prison because I committed a horrible act of violence. And I harmed someone and left a huge ripple effect across the community. You know, I'm ashamed of my past violent behavior, and I'm extremely remorseful for my actions. You know, I hurt another human being, and rightly so, that I'm doing time in prison. And I regret every day for putting my hands on another human being. So this episode is about empathy. So to protect the names of the persons I've harmed, I will refer to them as the harmed party, including family and friends. You know, so let's get it going, man. What's the question, man? What we looking for, man?
Okay, so we talking about empathy. What does empathy mean to you?
Yeah, so, you know, in a word, man, you know, empathy, it conveys a simple acknowledgement that, look, man, you're not alone. I get you. You know, it's beyond words. Empathy is about connection, and we went black.
No, I still see you. We live. Go ahead.
Okay, we like, okay, cool, yeah. Empathy is about connection, you know, turning into, you know, tuning into the other person, seeing the world as they see it without judgment, understanding another's feelings and needs, and being able to communicate one's understanding of their needs back to them, be able to reciprocate. So I'll give you an example. I was taking an empathy group, and I met this lady, and she shared a story about how she was from Canada and how she was trying to pursue acting, and she was doing the odds and end jobs and running errands, so she moved to LA. And anyway, she was going to a grocery store for a producer, and she was in the Suburban, and she was getting groceries. And what happened was she was getting into the car, and there was this man came up behind her and stuck a corkscrew in her side, in her ribs, and he demanded her to give her a ride. You know, as I'm listening to this story, I was feeling the emotions that came up. So even though she was sitting across from me, I felt the wave of emotions and how I felt like how she was scared and how she was trying to do her best to try to handle the situation. So he pushes her in the Suburban, and as big as it was, she was scared and she didn't know what was about to happen until he told her to take off her clothes. And right there, she went into survival mode. She was trying anything she could, and he started beating her, right? Started beating her. And her head was bashed against the window and broke the glass, and she was hurt bad, right? And then, sadly, he sexually assaults her. She's busted up, she's bleeding, she's trying to survive, you know, and it was broad daylight. And so, you know, she knew that if she had left that parking lot, that this dude was going to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
And so she managed to fight her way out and get to the grocery store, and then had someone call the police. But the whole time, she was taking, what was taking place was like her spirit, like I left her body when he was beating on her and put her head. And like I said, he sadly, you know, sexually assaulted her. So her body had left. She had an out-of-body experience, and her body left her body, and her consciousness shattered into like all these different pieces. And so when she kind of gained back herself, it was like her spirit was left to protect her from the pain and trauma that she was experiencing. And so I thought that was like really, really profound, because when I sat there and I felt when she was sharing her story, like I cried, man. I was like, man, that's terrible. Like, what if that happened to someone that I love? And then I start to reflect on the harm that I've caused other people, and I had to really sit there and understand and sit in it and feel what others are feeling. And so that's what I've been doing now, is taking the time that I've been sitting in here and reflecting on the pain and the suffering that I've caused, and then developing, cultivating empathy for myself. And so that was so profound, man, that her experience in trauma, like, we try what we can to survive, and that's survivors feel. So those that I've harmed, that's all I wanted to do, man, was hold on a second. Yeah, forgive me. There was a little disturbance, man. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the reason the crime happened in my situation was that I lacked empathy, right? Because when I was raised, the empathy was essentially beat out of us, right? Beat out of me. My father was an alcoholic, and he spared no mercy when it came to using violence, any way, when he would whip us with belts, and he would use fists and slap us around. He wanted what he wanted, and violence and abuse, it's something that we learned, that we picked up. So it was an easy choice for me when I'm in a situation at the time to lash out in a violent way, and so that was one of the things that how I engage in the lack of empathy. So I didn't have it. Therefore, I'm in prison because had I had empathy, then I wouldn't have harmed another human being. And so it was easy for me to do that. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, that's what empathy for me, what I experienced it to be, and then the experience, listening to it and being with somebody, as opposed to like just saying, that this person is just somebody that it happened to. Like, I'm sitting with you and I'm feeling you at the same time, and I want to try to help you in any way I can. That's empathy. That's what it's been for me.
Okay. Well, I don't know how much time we got left before we get shut down, but let's touch back on a little bit when the last video we did, when I was like, the difference between personally how you feel about being an All-American, and then now you're an inmate with a number. Like, I know the difference is you somewhere where you got to do what somebody tell you to do. You lock down. I know that big difference, but like, how internally, like, how do you feel about from where you were to where you are now?
Yeah. So it's living this life and trying to uncover like the deep dark shit that we lacked. I had to regain this stuff, right? So it's harder. It's actually easy being an elite athlete than trying to be an elite human being. I mean, had I had, like I said before, had I had developed empathy, I would have been a better athlete, right? So because I lacked empathy, my athleticism only took me so far. Now, had I been empathetic more towards others, I would have been more present. I would have been more disciplined. So training is hard, but getting out of prison and learning this stuff that I hadn't experienced when I was younger is 10 times harder. So it's almost like starting from scratch. At least with sports, it's like I'm talented, and sometimes shit comes a little bit easier when you're talented. But this is like real work, right? It's even harder. So I had to learn, that they're similar as far as training, but it's I thought working would be easy because I figured I'm an elite athlete that I can do it, but it pales in comparison. So being All-American was much easier than having to do this deep internal work and work on empathy, which for me, man, it makes all the difference in the world, man. And I'm grateful to have sat down and experienced life in prison, because I understand that I could use this as an opportunity and a platform to help other people, man, because I do facilitate groups. I'm a facilitator for 12 steps. I'm a facilitator for breaking barriers. I'm a facilitator for empathy classes. I'm a facilitator for Realize, which is like intimate crime, intimate partners. I've taken domestic violence. I've taken Gogi, which is like going out, getting out by going in. And so by taking on these classes while I'm in here, people don't do that on the street.
Yeah.
And so I've been exposed for many years in self-help therapy, going to see the psychologist. I spent time with the psychologist I have 4 different psych evaluations. And each time that I had the evaluation, I've learned a little bit more. I've learned a little bit more about myself. And so to say sitting in here was an experience, it is, but like it's changed my life. Like it's made me a better person. So even though the 4 denials that I've experienced, like each time I learned something. And they were painful, bro. I mean, I shit you not, man. There's some inner pain that I've never want anybody to experience.
Yeah, I know. I remember when you got denied each time, and how you like when I called you, it seemed like I was more down about it than you. You know what I mean? So that it amazed me how you took that shit on the chin and kept it pushing. Like I know I'd have been they'd have had to take my shoestrings away, man, and put me on suicide watch, dog. Yeah, so that
I understand.
That shows a lot about you mentally, because I know I probably wouldn't have been able to take it, especially like in the manner. But it is what it is. We coming up. We all positive. September 22, 2023 is gonna be the date. Hopefully, that California sheds a little grace on you.
Yeah, man, that's the goal, man, and that's what I utilize. This I didn't let this experience be something in vain. I wanted to do everything that I could to be a better person, so I don't commit any more harm. Because seeing your heartbreak, seeing my family heartbreaks, my mother, who rests in peace, she didn't get an opportunity to see me get out of here and walk out of here, man.
10 seconds.
So that really, we got 10 seconds, man. So I want y'all to know, man, I'm back, man. Episode 1. Remember, how you do anything is how you do everything, man. I'm out, man. Y'all one love, man. Take care of yourselves.